Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, mine have evolved, I hope. I hope it's like anything. I think one of the things that, as a profession that we have to really be careful of is that we, I don't know if the words evolve, but we certainly develop and change as technology. We're forced to adapt to new ways of teaching. And the technology online has adapted and evolved over the years since I've been doing it. We've gone through a number of platforms. I mean, yeah, they all do essentially the same thing, but they're all a little different. And one of the easiest things to do as a professor is to not become familiar with all the tools that are at your disposal online. And it's very simple to just go with a rudimentary platform and forget about it. So I think the challenge for a lot of us is to constantly stay up and to keep learning to teach. Because it's a craft. Teaching online is a craft. Like I said, I found it very challenging on the one hand. On the other hand, particularly with graduate students, it's very rich. It's a rich environment. You can get at a lot of questions and you can go a lot deeper because the students actually have time to respond. It's not usually synchronous. I mean, you can run synchronous sessions. That's something we could talk about, but most of the time it's asynchronous discussion. They have times, and depending on what you put in there, I typically have a requirement for my students, for example, that they can't just say anything. I tell them, hey, I suppose I can answer. I'm supposedly an expert, but you're not, and therefore you need to support your answers. So one of the things I have them do is to supply links to literature or to websites or articles that they may have copies of or anything, and I have them do that. It's so that actually we build a library then of content throughout a course, and I actually go back and take some of that and start including it in my course in the future, for example. I mean, another thing that I do out there with the students on that, if you want to start finding out where they're at, one of the requirements I ask a lot of times of them is, hey, based on the reading, what question would you ask? Because perhaps, they've got a better question than I do sometimes. And so, I tend to go there.